What's happening, people? You know, it's Thursday night, it's Pyro Radio, it's me, Jay Fresh, live in the place. I'm with you once a month for the Jay Fresh and Friends show, and the concept is very simple. It's dope artists, whether they're up-and-coming artists you're already familiar with, or legends of the game. And of course, I had to bring some legends through on this week's show. And for the first time ever, all three of us are like 6 foot plus. So we're not having to bend down too much into the microphones because the setup here is real nice. In the building, Oxide and Neutrino. Welcome, brothers. How are you?
What's happening, Fresh? You right?
It's great to see you, man. I know you've been hard on that radio grind, the radio promo push. You're everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
Getting back in that pirate way of thinking, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But nah, all good.
Sick. Now, before we talk about kind of the present day and move forward, I need to take you back to kind of my days at college, at Barton Peveril in Southampton, the 1.2 Renault Clio, navy blue. And there was a CD that I had, and it was the bonus CD, the mix CD of Execute. That was our college soundtrack.
Okay.
That was the soundtrack to my raving youth and introduction to UK Garage. So, Oxide, I've known you for years, but for you, Newt, first time, thank you for coming on the show, man.
No, appreciate it.
We had to come full circle. I have to ask you, when was the last time you listened to the album in full?
Oh, wow. For me, it's been years, literally.
Yeah?
Like 2001, probably.
That long, man?
Yeah.
I might have to come out tonight. You know? Especially the bonus mix CD as well, to be fair. That has been a while.
That, like I said, that was the energy for me and my friends at the time. That was the soundtrack. But for you guys, the first ever track you ever made, 200,000 units. I mean, I'm gassed just saying that right now. I mean, how long did that take for you guys to like really sink in? Has it ever really sunk in?
Yeah, I think for us, probably years, you know, like we weren't really striving for a number one and, you know, we didn't really know how, you know, the heights that a track like that could get to. So it was a bit of a shock at the time. So yeah, it's only after you sit back after a few years, look back at what we achieved and think, wow, that was... No, pretty decent.
Pretty decent. So humble. I love that. No, but it was a mad experience. And for you guys, album-wise, you obviously dropped a couple of albums over time. You know, you're still putting out records now on the new tune we're going to talk about in a minute. But what are the things that keep you guys going? Because veterans makes you sound old, but you're still young men. So you've been in the game a long time now. What kind of things keep you going and keep you striving with the clubs, the radio circuit, making tunes?
I think the thing that got us into it is just a love of music. I mean, there's no hidden agenda behind it. It's just a genuine love for music. You know,
It was so natural and organic.
Yeah. But that's what keeps us going. I mean, we just I can't even say more. Yeah, it's just
no. That's interesting now because it feels like you don't put too much thought into it. You go with it, you jam, you vibe, you create ideas, and it happens very natural. And the words organic and natural are like buzzwords in the industry now. But for you guys, like you are that.
Well, saying that, I mean, when we signed to a major label, I remember the label came to us and they were like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, blah, blah. And we're like, no, that's not happening. This is our music. You're not changing our music. From the streets where we make our music, that's what goes into the charts. And something like Rap This is a prime example where no one had ever done that before. That was like...
groundbreaking records.
Yeah. Like, just even what we were talking about. Like, you can't put that out. Yes, we can. So push it. So that's what I mean. Actually, we mean it when we say it's just our music, our love, it's genuine, it's organic. Here you go, bam.
And you've gone from there. And recently, is it Dilemma 2 or Dilemma 2.0 or 2.0? 2.0, right. I had to check that. The record was fire. I think Swiss told me a few months ago, he mentioned that there was going to be another version of Dilemma. And I thought, that means he's on it. And then when you drop the record and drop the video, I mean, I'm a fan of the record anyway. I think it's heavy. I've been playing it everywhere. But the reception to the tune, did you have like expectations? Were you just putting it out there and seeing what happened? How have you found that whole experience?
I think, like it's been really humbling, you know, like it's been a great response from it. And we kind of knew that it'd be, you know, maybe like our older fans would kind of appreciate it and get it.
Careful with the older.
Sorry, we're older as well, man. But yeah, it's been good to see like younger generation enjoying it as well. And yeah, we're just excited to kind of push on and release new music and all the rest of it.
Yeah, man. And the video of which you kind of spliced in some classic footage. I don't know where you got that from, what that was filmed on, but you know, they gave a real insight into the kind of that time, what you guys were doing, and lyrically, for you. You know, there's a lot of stories there that maybe the younger generation who've heard of pirate radio but don't quite know what it was. you know, there's a lot of stories, a lot of interesting points covered in that. You know, was that a kind of, you felt it was time to tell that story and give it to the new generation, or you just like, you know what, that's always been there, let me just explain it?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It made sense. Actually, the lyrics were written to another track that we had, and then Ox played me Dilemma like 2, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Crazy. So we started playing it in clubs, and it started going down. I'm like, okay. And then I dropped the lyric from a previous track that we still haven't released onto Dilemma, and I was like, actually, this makes sense. This kind of
it gels.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then like you're saying, I thought we were gonna do a video, and we were going back and forth like directors and stuff, and we're like, you know what, I don't think they can kind of grasp what we actually want, and we're like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. So I like bought some equipment, and then Ox up in his loft found some old tapes, I found some old tapes, and then just put it together.
No, it's a sick concept, man. And again, I love still finding the old YouTube clips of like the Cosa Nostra or the old Sidewinder thing, or things like that, man. It's cool. And I think there's a danger sometimes of, when you've been in the game a while, some people perhaps patronise the younger generation, being like, you don't know what it was like. It was very different, and you're lucky. But it's important to get certain messages across in a good way. And I think you've done that with the record, and like you said, the video and all that stuff. I want to talk to you about club sets. I know you guys have been active from big festivals, the club circuit, for a long time now, but one of the reasons I kind of fell out of love with UK Garage is I felt we got to a point where it was the same 30 tunes every DJ, six sets a night, and so on. You guys, you know, credit, you've never done that. You've always thrown in like your new material and new tracks. So again, is that a conscious effort to try and keep moving things forward? Because there's been times when garage has been difficult.
Well, again, I think what you were saying earlier, it comes down to the love of the music, you know. We're not going to enjoy playing that same kind of crowd pleaser set every time, but in the same way, we still drop the odd kind of crowd pleaser tune, because the crowd want to hear them. You can see it when you play them. So
judging the crowd.
Exactly. We're not there kind of in a selfish way just to play a set for ourselves. We play for the crowd, but we do try and push new music as much as possible. You know, we don't hide from the music game, and we're kind of in tune with it and what's popular and all the rest of it. So we try.
But that's like what I was saying. I think to do that is to push the scene forward as well. So it's so important that people take those risks and chances. I think a lot of DJs are so scared, kind of stuck in that box to say, oh, do you know, I'm not coming out of here, I'm just going to play.
I might lose a book in there. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
I want to play it safe.
But you know, you say to yourself, look, if you want things to progress, we have to push new music, new stuff. You can't the same tunes over and over again. And people clock on. You know, you get people that will go to the rave and be like, hang on a minute, the rave that was at like last month, 2 months ago, or even a year, it's the same set.
Same set.
Don't want to come out to this again.
Totally, man. Does the term legends, pioneers, groundbreakers, are those words that sit comfortably with you guys?
I'll tell you that.
The facial expressions say it all. You'll catch that on the Pyro YouTube.
It's like, I guess if you're part of a scene, you help create that, and you take, you know, a certain style of music, I guess garage, and put it into the charts, and I guess as well, like, help create other scenes. I mean, like, some of the music that we're doing was dark. It wasn't necessarily garage. I guess it was in that point before, I guess, grime. And even dubstep. Even though like a lot of people doing their thing, I guess there was that kind of limbo, and that was where our music just kind of slotted in. So I mean,
Don't worry, I won't ask you any more awkward questions. I had to ask though, because I always, it's one of the reasons that I love interviewing people in person, is you get that energy and connection. You can see exactly what's going on, and you guys are very open, which I love. Do we still call it UK Garage?
It's a loose term, man. Like, for us, UK Garage has always been like such a broad sound, you know. So broad. Like Nuke said, kind of funky come from garage, dubstep come from garage, grime come from garage. But to us, garage was all of that involved anyway. So we could kind of break the rules of that swingy two-step kind of beat. As long as it matches in that tempo and you can mix it in your sets, that's what our music was about, you know. We didn't stick to that classic UK garage sound.
That's again what excited me when I was buying the records from, you know, Rhythm Division and Uptown and these places, that you'd play that Club Asylum, just geeky DJ talk now. You play that Club Asylum tune and you play the Todd Edwards, then you'd play the Decline tune, you could switch it up, and there was, you know, there was like the ragga and the jungle and all that influences, and that's what made it so exciting. And again, that's formed some legendary scenes now that are well established across the globe, which is sick. New music.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to sit here, or I'm not going to stand here and say to you, when's the new tunes coming out, who's on an album, what artists you featuring, because you're going to be like, I can't tell you that, Fresh. Do you know what I mean? And I understand that. But what kind of bits can you tell me about, both of you?
Well, yeah, we're just I think our next project will probably be an EP.
Yeah.
Just kind of a bit of a test the water one, see what people are feeling. And
any features or the duo?
The duo for now, like.
Yeah. Duo for now. I think we just kind of going back to our roots and, you know, how we made music back in the day. Like just in the studio comes naturally, and just we always experiment with different sounds. Like Ox was saying, we don't want to just. I know we were part of garage, but we never like you don't like that whole kind of same sounding kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We weren't about that. Just experimenting with loads of different stuff. So yeah, EP should be a crazy one still.
And I think for you guys as well, creatively, you want that freedom.
Yeah,
especially when we talk about, it's well documented the situation with your second album. You want that freedom to just like make musically what you want to make. Put it out there, connect with fans, old-ish and new, and kind of keep it moving forward. We're going to get to the guest mix in a moment, but before then, I want to ask you about kind of duos and crews, because back in that time, duos and DJ crews and grime and garage crews they were everywhere. Whereas now, I mean, can you think of any new school ones? Very, very few and far between. So is that something that our kind of club scene and our sound is maybe missing?
I guess the environment is what brought around crews and duos and stuff like that, especially being on pirate radio station, because you had the whole, I guess it comes from that kind of the ragged days, the whole sound systems clashing vibes.
Yeah,
that's what the whole kind of crews are about. And even like when we were on Supreme FM, the crew that I was in, Living Legend, when Soul Soda came up, there was kind of that rivalry, like friendly rivalry, and
good rivalry,
which made you go home and write bars. So then you come back.
He stung me. I got to come back. Yeah.
So there was a lot of
exactly.
So there was a lot of that. So I guess it's because of that environment, the pirate radio environment, that you had that. And I guess if you don't have that now, then you know there's no crews.
Do people kind of? I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm always interested because nowadays maybe some people can blow up very, very quickly, but maybe they haven't had the kind of breeding ground of, you know, what is now legal or digital radio, and then they're on big stages, performing in front of big crowds, and they've never really performed before. You know, I feel maybe sometimes that's something that is missing to some of the new guys, unfortunately. Because for you guys, it was pivotal.
Yeah. That was part of
practice
our scene.
hours.
Yeah, that was part of our scene. So luckily, we had the practice hours, like doing the sets on pirate radio station, doing the clubs, stage presentation. You know, in front of people. Yeah, important, like you're saying. So I guess, for people, you know, now I guess if they're just rapping or at home and then next minute they know they're on a stage, it's like, wow. But saying that, I did the same thing though. Like, so it was all good in pirate radio, underground clubs. When we did the mainstream stuff,
big stages, big production.
I was like, oh my God, and started kind of looking towards the ground. And I remember my manager would be like, look at the crowd, interact with the crowd. And I was kind of like, this is a lot of people. It's like 10,000 people, like 100,000 people. Oh my, this is crazy. So, I guess we were lucky in our craft that gave us that experience and practice.
No, it's sick, man. Here at Pyro Radio, it's Thursday night with me, Jay Fresh. We're going to get into a very exclusive guest mix with Oxide and Neutrino. What kind of vibes can we expect for the next 30 minutes, bro?
I think a bit old with a bit of new, you know? That's what we like to do, so... yeah.
Wicked. All right, well, thanks for joining us in the studio. We're going to get you around this side of the desk, get you plugged in, ready to go. Keep it right here at Pyro.